everybody and welcome to my video Getting Tidier. I hope you're all well and you've had a good weekend. I know a couple of you haven't been well and you've had different difficulties going on the last few days. I hope things improve for you. I wanted to ask you, I've actually got now 1,700 subscribers and I'm trying to get to 2,000. When I get to 2,000, I'm going to post off one of my handmade dishcloths. Well, you can use it for the dishes, you can use it to wipe, you can use it in any room you choose. They're very, very hard wearing, made out of cotton. And once they're dirty, you just throw them in the washing machine and wash them. And they last for, well, mine lasted for years. So I'd be really excited to send that out. I haven't yet worked out how I'm going to do the whole address thing, because I understand that somebody is not going to want to post their address on YouTube, but we can find a way of sorting that out, I'm sure. So please do subscribe. When I get to 2,000, I'm going to send one out. So the first part of the video that you saw there was actually on Saturday evening. And the reason why I was working on Saturday evening and not having a rest was my mother-in-law and father-in-law were coming round quite early on Sunday morning. So I wanted just to sort out everything on the landing. So that's at the top, the first flight of stairs. A number of different things had just been left there. Also the container of all the clothes that I took out of my daughter's room is up there. So that needed to be taken upstairs. Although I've got a story about that. Sunday morning when I went into my daughter's room, my husband had very helpfully, in inverted commas, put the box of all the clothes that I'd taken out of my daughter's room and put it back in her room. I said, please, could you carry that upstairs for me? That would be a great help. And then also, I decided that I just needed to pile some things up in the dining room. So a lot of the things that you can see, obviously there's table mats there, but otherwise a lot of what you can see are school books. I can't remember bringing so many school books home with me, but my daughter has all her school books at home. And I think part of that was because there were a couple of times where she had left books at school and she'd got homework. So I just said, bring everything home. It's quite nice because I can do a quick sort of book check and have a look to see how she's getting on. So I do like it, but obviously they can easily get taken over. I've got a new, well, they can easily take over the table, I mean. I've got a new wicker basket, which my dad got me, to put all her books in. So, you know, I told you my dad was bringing around bits and pieces for me. Was he bought me this really nice, bigger basket, which will easily hold her books. So I'm going to sort all that out and put it in the bigger basket. And then, as one of you suggested, at the end of the day, I can just say to my daughter, okay, if you can put all your books back into the basket, and she can easily do that herself when she's sorting out her bag for the next day. So I have a feeling that that will save some time and effort and is easy for her. So we had a really busy Sunday, and in a minute you'll see all the piles of the plates and the state of the kitchen from after the roast dinner. But that was in the evening. So what did we do for the rest of the day? Well, we had a nice day. In the morning, we went to the new church that's been built. So a church sadly had an arson attack many years ago and moved locations. We weren't going to the church then, but they've now had it all rebuilt and it's got 1,250 capacity. So we went there and my in-laws came with us. And then after that, we came home, had lunch, and then we worked in the house and I helped with homework. So I sat with my daughter for a lot of the afternoon and supported her with her homework. And she also did some sewing. And then we had a roast dinner, roast duck, which, if I'm honest, I did moan about. And you have to write in the comments whether any of you have had a traditional roast dinner and had duck. So they went in, my husband and daughter went in to get roast chicken. That was on Saturday. I tend to wait in the car because I go into the supermarket on Monday and I don't want to go in on Saturday and Monday. I'm not a lover of the supermarket, whereas my daughter really enjoys going. My husband just popped in to get the roast chicken. There was no chicken, so they got a roast duck. So I'd said, right, I'm not going to have any. You can have it and I'll just have vegetables. But actually it was really, really nice. And then Sunday evening I did a bit of work to prepare for this week. And then Monday morning we got up. I was awake a few times in the middle of the night because my daughter was coughing and needed her inhaler. So my husband let me sleep in a little bit longer, which was nice. We went and did the school run together, came back, my husband started working, and I went straight to the supermarket. Now today I only went to one, so usually I do 2 supermarkets, but today I only decided to do one, so I was back at quite a decent time. And then after I came back, after the supermarket, I popped to the charity shop and took another big bag. So this is like in the space of 3 weeks. I've taken about 4 bags and a box. And also, all those mugs I was kindly given, but I can't give them out as prizes if it says like my dear mother or something, or I got one mug given to me that said Caroline or Rachel on. Nobody would really appreciate that as a prize for my guides tombola. So I took all those to the charity shop, which was great. So just to get rid of everything from the house, and also where it sits at the door in a pile. And then I came back, took everything out of all the bags, unpacked all the shopping and started putting it all away. Now one person did say to me, why don't you put it away as you go along? Because how I'm doing it means that everything's double-handed, so to speak. And they're completely right. It's just for me, I like to take everything out, and then often the fruit and the vegetables are split up into different bags and so on. So I get everything out and then I get rid of all the shopping bags, and then I can see where I am. And also I don't tend to do any of the meals sort of Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so when I go to the fridge, I need to get some things out which just haven't been used or past it or should have been used the weekend and weren't. So I generally on Monday just put anything in the bin that needs to be got rid of. So today there was like a hummus pot which is now out of date, half container of coleslaw which is now out of date. So I took them out. You'd also see that I wash all the apples and dry them, and then I've put them in the blue bowl that I didn't know what to do with. I've decided that I'm turned it into a fruit bowl. So wash the apples, put the tangerines in, wash the grapes, and then the fruit is all ready for our lunches. We don't tend to have fruit in the evening. We always have it with our roll or our pita bread at lunchtime. So you can see there's quite a bit to do in my kitchen, but because I have been keeping on top of things, actually none of it takes that long, which is great. I mean, back in the day, the kitchen would take me, the whole morning really, or the whole afternoon. Really would take quite a long time. You can also see here that it's nice and sunny. Still quite cool, but it's really quite sunny. And I've got a little convertible Fiat 500, and I actually put the roof down on the way back from the supermarket, which was nice, and felt the sunshine on my face. So spring is on the way, everybody, and then it'll be summertime. Now later in this video, I also get all the washing on the line. So you have to stay tuned for that. Sometimes people give different feedback on how things are hung on the line to avoid peg marks, because I don't do any ironing. So that'll be interesting. And also I do a sort out of the cupboard where the new shower has been fitted. So remember me telling you that we had the radiator which has got really, really rusty, and I kept saying to my husband it's going to burst and our whole house is going to be flooded. I had a toilet that didn't work, and I had a shower that didn't work, and then my husband just literally ordered everything because I moaned about it. He ordered everything and then worked on all the jobs at the same time. And then the radiator doesn't fit, the radiator needs to go back. We've got to now pay for that to be couriered ourselves. And the toilet part wasn't the right part, so we had to get another part, but the toilet is now working. Probably working better than what has ever worked, which is good. And the shower has all been fixed, and it's got the remote controller. So that's really good. So in the loft conversion, that's our bedroom. The floor is covered with piles and piles and piles and piles and piles and piles of washing, an old shower unit, all the things that came out of the cupboard that the new shower has gone into, tools, rubbish, boxes. So I know I did say that I'm just going to spend time on the playroom today, and I am going to spend a little bit of time on the playroom, but what happened was I wanted to get rid of all my cleaning sprays, all the things from the cupboard I wanted to put back into the cupboard, and I wanted to put the towels back because that will clear up a decent amount of my floor. But you will see when it gets to that part in the video that as I was sitting there, I suddenly saw all these bin bags of clothes, and I completely forgot that the clothes that I wanted to keep when my daughter was a baby, so like little baby grows, little vests, little tiny dresses, etc., I had in my loft cupboard, but I ran out of space and remembered that I'd got space in the bathroom cupboard. So I put 3 massive great bags of clothes into the shower cupboard. So, yeah. And then also, some of you have asked me about my garden. This is sort of a snapshot of the back garden. You can see I've got loads to do. And this might sound a bit silly, but I do feel a bit under pressure today because the brown bin is being collected. The brown bin is all for garden waste and it's empty. And so I really feel like, as well as doing the playroom, as well as doing my bedroom, as well as sorting out the clothes and putting everything back in the shower cupboard, I also need to be outside, starting to cut back. Not doing loads, obviously we've got to think about the insects, but I do feel like I should be cutting some things back and filling up the brown bin. The reason why I feel like that is because we pay for the brown bin per year. So if you're paying for something and then not using it, obviously it's a bit silly. You can see there's lots to do in the garden though. I do love my garden, I really do. It's a lovely space, and we spend like time for having barbecues and spends quite a lot of time in the garden. And this bit here is my working area. So I like to grow plants in my spare time, when I get spare time. In lockdown, oh my goodness, the plants I grew, you just wouldn't believe it. It was fantastic. I loved it. So there's lots here of plants that I've overwintered. The greenhouse is full, etc. So there's lots there. You can see my wood pile. So now my wood shelter is nearly empty, which is good. All that oak wood can be chopped up, ready for next year. And then I think I'll need to put new grass seed down, which is a bit of a pain, but still. You see that ornament there in the middle of the grass? That's been there for a long, long time. That was the lady and man's wedding anniversary present. I've got pictures of the little children that used to play around that. I'll see if I can add them to the video for you. And then you can then see just around the back garden area where I need that veranda is going to be replaced, you see. That's the next sort of big outside job for my husband. I'm in the patio area. So there's a few things there that I just need to weed, cut back, and sort of a bit more area that needs to be tidied up really. And then I'm then go upstairs and start in the shower room. So this is the corner of our ensuite bathroom, and so I started just sort of putting things back in the cupboard, and then I remembered, I've got all the cleaning products and all the things that need to go back into the cupboard. So after I started putting things in, I then moved the pile to one side. Not a very big space, so it's not ideal for the video, but hopefully you'll be able to get a feel for it. So in there is where the shower unit is, and it's got, in a minute you'll see a slightly different angle. That is part of my Silver Cross pram, which is just kind of, I've just put it in there because there's space. And it does go back a decent distance. And then those big bags are what's full of clothes. And you can see there's all this stuff that needs to be sorted out. But I found lots of things for the bin, which I'm really pleased about. Like creams that have been there for so long need to be binned. A hair thing, a foot scrubber thing that I've never used. So I just need to get that out, decide if I'm going to use it. And if I'm not, I need to give it to somebody else, give it to charity shop, or just get rid of it. I've been to I went to the supermarket this morning and my husband said, "Did you get toothpaste?" I was like, "No." He said, "Oh, we need toothpaste." And that's because I'm using this awful toothpaste that I'd got for my daughter but tasted horrible. So I'm using that up. My husband can't bear to use it. But by going through this, I found 2 toothpastes. I found some deodorant, some shampoo, loads of other things that about 3 bottles of conditioner that I forgot were in here. So that was good. Box of tissues I'm going to put in the car because I need a new box of tissues in the car, and I thought I was going to have to buy one. More shower gel, some other cleaners, some face cream. So lots of things there that I can take out and just use. So this is probably a slightly better angle for you to see things. I like to clean with old toothbrushes, but I mean, really, do I need 4? And I know some of you will laugh because I went on about all the mosquito repellents that I've got. I found 2 more. I mean, I can't believe how many mosquito repellents does one person need. I think I've got 10 in the bathroom cupboard and another 2. So I think I'll take them on holiday with us this summer. And if they aren't powerful enough, I guess I'll get bitten and then I can put it in the bin. So that's good, just to clear out and get rid of some things. A couple of little smelly sets that I've just not used that are still in the cupboard, so I can take them out. And some things I just keep, like there's a soap holder there, little soap dish. I've never used it, I've got no plan to use it, but for some reason I keep it. It's got no sentimental value, so I just thought I'll get rid of that as well. Now I'll put some toilet rolls in there and then just put the beach towels in there for the moment. I've got loads and loads of toilet rolls, so I need to use them up and not buy any more for a while. And then in order to sort out the cupboard properly, this is where I decided I need to spend some time to go through all the children's clothes. My daughter's clothes and loads of clothes that my sister gave me for my nephews. Now all the clothes obviously went in the bags, perfectly clean, but over the years, as they've sat in the bags, where you maybe one of them had got something down it, it washed out and you couldn't see it with your eye, but then over time, the stain has crept back. So anything that's stained, what I should say is I originally kept all these bags in case we'd had another baby. So that's why I didn't get rid of all these clothes. So going through them, I then created a number of piles. So I put a pile for all the things that were stained and I have no attachment to. Actually, all the things are stained because I don't think I've kept anything with any stains. None of the things I'm attached to have got stained. And there's a pile of boys' clothes that's in good condition. Then a pile of girls' clothes I'm going to keep, but that's quite small. And then a pile of girls' clothes that I'm going to give to my daughter's Italian teacher who's got a little girl who's nearly 5 months. So I thought that was good. Actually, that pink baby grow has got a couple of marks, but I'm going to keep that. And the reason why is, my goodness, she wore that over and over and over and over again. And the feel of the fabric and the marks, I can just remember. If probably a few years ago, if I'd have got this out of the bag, I would have just burst into tears. Thankfully, my emotions have moved on from that time. But my daughter had very, very severe eczema, which developed. Me and my husband both had eczema, so they should have warned us in advance. But basically, she got covered in eczema after her 3-month vaccinations. Severe eczema all over her body, all over her face, all over her head, everywhere. It's really, really horrendous. So we had all these different creams to put on her. And so she went from smelling like, that baby smell to just smelling of like the creams, petroleum and other things that they suggested we put on her skin. Thankfully now, the eczema is completely gone and cleared up, etc., etc. But we worked out what all the problems were with all the allergies and everything. And it was a bit of a journey of discovery. Yeah, so probably from about 3 big bin bags of clothes, I'm keeping one small bag, which that's okay, isn't it? That's okay, I'm hoping. Well, I think that's okay. And I know some of you will just think, oh, I'll get rid of it all. What are you holding on to things for? But maybe when I go back to this bag at some other time, I will be able to get rid of more things. But I feel from 3 massive great bags, I've only kept a very, very small bag of things. So I'm pleased with that. And there's a big pile that's going to go straight in the bin and not even suitable for rags. So I'm just going to bin them all. And there's another decent sized bag for, like I said, my daughter's Italian teacher. That was her second Italian teacher. She's not taught by her anymore. Life got busy and she also had a baby and so on. So, yeah, so I'll be able to sort some things out. I found some things even with labels on. Just, you know, when sometimes the timing is wrong for clothes. There's like a little pair of summer shorts that was like a year old or something. And by the time my daughter was the right size to fit into them, it was like in the middle of winter. Also a pair of little shoes that I'm going to give my daughter's Italian teacher. And there's a little outfit which I was not really that keen on, but it's brand new. So there's a few different things I can pass on, which I'm pleased about. And there's other things like little cardigans that I can particularly remember my daughter wearing, which for now I shall keep. So what turned out to be, oh, I'm going to do the playroom today. Oh, I'm going to do some outside jobs today. Oh, I'm going to put all the things back. It's kind of unexpected decluttering. Do you all have that? Start one job and then end up doing something completely different? I guess all of us sometimes do that, but I think this is so much in the house that needs to be done. So it's easy. But given my mission, I think if I keep on, I'm not going to find these little, you know, hidden piles of stuff, am I? Because once I've tidied up like the whole of my bedroom, I'm then going to start sorting through all the loft cupboards and create more space. I think I'll have to rename my... I'm joking, by the way, but I feel like I need to rename my channel Getting More Space, because that's what it feels like. Because remember, when I first started this, I just thought that I was untidy. And a number of you have all taught me it's not just about you being untidy, it's because you've got too much stuff. And that's really made me realise that it is. If you have less stuff, of course, it's easier to be tidy. If you have less clothes, the washing's easier, etc, etc, etc. And one lady suggested that I do a video where I take out all of my daughter's clothes from the wardrobe. And I thought, yeah, that'd be a really good idea. Because at the moment, you can't move the items in the wardrobe at all. So if I take out everything, I'll really be able to have a good look through. So if there's like a winter item which is, you know, quite tight for her, then obviously it's not going to last for this winter, is it? Or an item of summer clothing which is a bit small now, I might as well get rid of it. So I think that's a really good idea. So there were a few little things that I looked at with great fondness that I'd forgotten about and I've kept, and other things that I just thought, oh, I can't even really remember that. Get rid. Or an odd sock, or an odd shoe. That little cardigan there is a little John Lewis cardigan. It was so pretty. But I'm not that attached to it, and it's good for it to go to someone else's home. The only thing that I don't like is once I gave loads and loads of clothes to a friend, and then she took photographs of her daughter wearing the dresses and sent to me, and I'm sure she thought that would please me, and that I'd like seeing it. But instead, I looked at the pictures and thought, oh, I remember my daughter wearing that. I wish I hadn't given that away. I'd rather just give something away and forget about it and not see it ever again. Does anyone else feel like that? I mean, I can get rid of it, but I just don't want to see it again. It's like if I give cuddly toys away and then see another child walking around with my daughter's toys, and then I'll think, oh, maybe I should have kept that. So I'd much prefer never to see it again. So I think as I have got that space in the back of that shower cupboard, I do think it's I will put this, the pile that I'm going to keep, I think I will put it back there because there's not much else that I can actually store in that cupboard. So I think it makes sense to me to just, I know it's a bit weird putting clothes in the shower room, but it's like storage that's just quite handy and not used for anything else. So I might as well use it for things that I'm very rarely going to go to. So after I've done loads of all this sorting, I then come downstairs because my husband called up and said that he'd finished one of his calls for work earlier, and did I want to pop out to the shops with him. Now, I don't know whether where you are, you have World Book Day. World Book Day. Every single year it springs up and I get like 3 days notice for World Book Day. And last year my daughter wanted to be Kiwami. I can't remember that character. It's a Sanrio character. And she gave me like 3 days notice and I had to make, like, I didn't have to, but I didn't want her to be disappointed. So I made like a sort of a head dress, hat, thing, and a tail, and she wore it with this like sort of purple play suit outfit. It looked really good. Now this time on the way to school this morning, she said it's World Book Day on Thursday, and I was like, right. She said I want to be Cinnamon Roll. Now that's another Sanrio character. I may have pronounced that incorrectly. I'm not up on these things. She talks about it all the time, so I should really know. I want to say cinnamon roll, like as in the bakery item, but I think it's called cinema roll. I said, okay. I said, well, we've got 3 days to do it. 3 days to make it. I said, because I'm working Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday and Thursday, my husband's in London. And today, obviously, I had the supermarket and jobs in the house to do, and I haven't got any of the materials or items in order to make this costume. So anyway, we had to go. My husband has got a black tie event, and he needed a new shirt because his shirt doesn't fit him anymore. And so in between his calls, we went out to a local shopping area, which is just outside of one of the cities that we live near. So we also needed to get my brother-in-law's birthday present. I've been asking for last sort of week and a bit, what can I get and what can I get him? I've got absolutely no ideas as to what to get. So I decided to get a voucher from a place where he likes to pop in and get a sausage roll and coffee type place. And I also got him a shirt, and then my husband managed to get the shirt that he needed for the black tie event, which was good. And then we went into Hobbycraft and found this white fluffy fabric which would be perfect for this outfit I need to make, and some blue felt, some pink felt, and some wire in order to make the ears. So please wish me luck with that. I can use a sewing machine, but what I'm not very good is sort of visualising things, but my husband is good at visualising. So hopefully he'll be able to visualise and I'll be able to create. Let's see. Hopefully she'll be happy because the fabric's really lovely and soft. I can make something and then she'll use it another time as well. So can you see what I mean in terms of everything that was in that cupboard? So lots of things there. And they're also like nappies, and I thought, well, that'd be quite good for my my daughter's Italian teacher's baby. So I'm going to go through all the rest of these bags, and it's just so good to, again, clear some things out. Got a massive great pile for the bin, and I'm feeling quite positive about getting rid of stuff. So that'll be good. At the end of the video, I'm going to do a couple of photographs so you can see all that I've got rid of, because it's nice, isn't it, to actually see the amount of things that are going to be binned and the amount of things that are going to be given away. So I'll do that right at the end. I actually found a little red long sleeve t-shirt that my daughter wore when she was in nursery. They said it was Christmas jumper day, and I'm not kind of big on Christmas jumpers. I don't think she'd ever had anything like that. So I had this red top and I cut out a Christmas tree I did quite a good job. When I looked at it, I'd forgotten that I'd made it, and I sewed the Christmas tree on and sewed the baubles on. So that was quite nice seeing that. That's one of the things that I've kept. Yeah, so there's that black bag that I need to go through. There's some good brands in here that would sell, but to be honest, some of the items that are good brands are actually things that I want to keep hold of. So this was all before we went to the shopping centre. So I spent quite a long time going through all these bags. And then when we came back from the shopping centre, we had lunch and I put another load of washing on. Only my washing machine's playing up at the moment. I hope it doesn't go for it. Since I've been married, I've had my mother-in-law's old washing machines. The first one was second hand, and I think I've had another 3. I do use the washing machine quite a lot, but it just seems like the buttons seem to go for it and it just stops working. Very frustrating, because they're big purchases, aren't they? But we'll see. Maybe my husband will be able to fix that. What I was actually surprised about here was that it doesn't feel like that long ago that my daughter was like 2 or 3. Obviously she's 11 now, so, you know, it's 8, 9 years ago. But there are some items of clothing that I don't even remember. I guess it's things that were bought as presents and then she, you know, wore a handful of times. And they get so many things, don't they? The children are so lucky, the volume of things that they get. They really get so much. But we just don't need it all. And I think a lot of people talk about the environment, and I don't know if any of you have seen that programme about the impact of fashion on the environment. And there's a lot of wise ideas from people, such as, you know, we're not allowed a plastic straw anymore. But the whole principles of, you know, fast fashion and buying from cheap shops and people going on holiday and wearing the clothes and just leaving all the clothes out on holiday and not bringing them back, all this sort of thing. Of course, they want us to all spend money and buy things and consume, because that's how our whole society continues. But actually, if you were serious about environmental impact, we'd all cut back, wouldn't we? All cut back on what we consume and what we buy and what we purchase. Nobody would be worrying about things like plastic straws. But, So there's another pair of items there I'm going to give away to my friend, little girl. So like I said, some of these things I kept in case we'd had another child, you see. So some of the things, even the odd items, got like a small mark on. If it's your own, you know, child, you don't mind, do you? If it's got a small mark which has been caused by your other child. I thought that was quite nice. That's a towel, which has got the hood on and you wear it as an outfit. I thought that would be quite useful for my friend's little girl. I can't remember it at all. Don't recognise it. So it must have been something that my daughter just wore a few times. Yeah, never really used it that much, I guess. Summer hat I found, so I thought that would be quite handy. As she's Italian, she goes back home quite regularly. Right in the very, very south of, if you think about Italy as the sort of like as a boot, she lives right down on the heel. So very sunny, and definitely a need for sun hats, and hopefully they'll be useful for her. I think nowadays charity shops have become so fussy that some of those items of clothing, they definitely do have like more life in them. But the charity shops are like, if it's got a tiny little like ruffle, tiny little sense of that it's been worn, they just put things straight in the bin. And then after I'd done this, after we went out, we came back. My husband usually does lunches, as you know, but he was on a call straight away, so I did lunch for us all. And in between waiting for the prawns to defrost, I was very excited. Look, you can see there's clouds in the sky, but the blue is fighting its way through, along with the sunshine. I thought, it's good enough weather. It's the first day of the year that I'm going to get my washing out on the line. And that's what I did. I got all the washing out of the washing machine and brought it out. And then you'll see me peg all the washing on the line. And fingers and toes crossed it doesn't freeze out there. With the winds and with the sunshine fighting to get through the clouds, it will dry. Let's hope anyway. I think with our climate, it tends to, if it's going to rain, it tends to rain sort of around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm going to keep an eye on it because, yeah, the clouds, look, some of the clouds are a bit grey. So I certainly don't want them to start getting dry and then get absolutely soaked in the downpour. I don't think it's due to rain today, so let's hope. But it was really nice to think, oh, like, I've got the spring flowers in my garden. I'm looking forward to, you know, getting out in my garden, spending some time there, cutting things back. And to think that I might be able to get my washing dry today would be really nice. It won't be hanging on the radiators and standing around in the house. And also my daughter has got that commitment to taking all the dry washing upstairs and putting it in the 3 piles. So fingers crossed that happens as well, as we all work together. And then after I've done that, I come back into the kitchen and finish off our lunch. I'm sorry, that's quite dark inside, isn't it? I sometimes have this problem, but what I'm going to do is, when I've got enough, when I've saved up enough money, I'm going to buy a proper phone stand with a light. And that will really help with some of my recordings so you can see things a bit better. You don't get this situation where it's bright and sunny outside and darker inside. I do actually have the light on in the kitchen, but it's just because it's so bright outside compared to indoors. So we then have lunch and I've recorded this video and I'm going to then do some more sorting of those clothes out. So that'll be in tomorrow's video. And if I've got time, I'm hoping to do a little bit in the playroom and get outside and make some cutbacks and some of the sort of winter and autumn twigs and sticks and clear up some leaves. Obviously we've got to be really careful this time of the year that we don't do too much because there'll be insects and the little butterflies that pupae, I always forget what it's called, like the little cocoons. I don't want to disrupt them. But thank you very much for watching my video and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!